Hello, it's Nicky. How you doing? I have an invitation for you today. I am launching something really special and potentially, I'm going to say it, quite life-changing. And I think that this is the perfect time to do this thing because all I am hearing at the moment on my walk to school, around the supermarket, all of the things is people whinging about the weather in January and is it spring yet and all of these things. And I know that only last week, so what we the 11th today, but the 1st of January, first week of January, maybe you thought about the things that you wanted to do this year. And maybe you let that soundtrack of like, this is my year, I'm going to do all of these things start to play. And already in week 2, you're thinking, oh gosh, it feels a bit hard really. And the older version of you is maybe trying to just kind of gather you back. Like, no, it is cold outside. Like, you don't need to do that. Like, do it next week. I think our old patterns, our old habits are so familiar to us. And yet so many of us want change. We are ambitious creatures. We want to do lots of brilliant things in this world. And so having some kind of focus and accountability could be really great. Now, I want to start here because I think it's really important to know who you're going to be in the company of. 54 days ago, I started a habit. And you can follow the journey on my Instagram. And the journey is this. The habit is this. It's very simple. My habit is to run every single day for 15 minutes. If I can do more, great. But 15 minutes is the minimum that I will do. And sometimes this feels sporty and fast and like I'm, on the Sweaty Betty advert. And sometimes it's me running back from the school run, going the long way round, carrying my son's rucksack because, he didn't need it in the end or whatever it might be. So this habit is, well, you'll see it on Instagram, but it's quite non-Instagram friendly, really. It's very raw, it's very imperfect, but I'm doing it anyway. However, the commitment of doing that daily habit, and the reason that I started a daily habit, by the way, is because I realized how much output I was giving on a day-to-day basis. So if you're a parent, if you're a carer, if you run a business, if you have to do lots of things, if you've got adult commitments and responsibilities, you rarely, I'm going to place a bet here, you rarely wake up and have those days where you're like, I just don't know what to do today. I've got a free day. Nothing or nobody needs me. Nothing is calling me. For most of us, that is not the case. And so I noticed towards the end of last year, wow, I am required to output a lot of output. That's really bad English, but sorry, bear with me. And so I needed to not just have half a morning at a spa every 6 months or a run every fortnight because that would give me energy. I needed something for me every single day. And I needed to know that no matter what, 15 minutes were mine, where I could breathe, focus, process, heal, think about things, look at the interiors of my local area, because I was very grateful over Christmas when people had their living room lights on. You're like, oh yeah, oh, they've converted their kitchen. That's very nice. And that 15 minutes has been life-changing for me. 54 days of 15 minutes has changed every area in my life. And so the reason that I'm starting with this first is because I'm here to say I have gone first and I've tested it. And many of us are in that January thing of like, I want to do all of these things, but maybe I don't know how to get started. Or maybe I build the momentum for a bit and then I get busy or I get distracted. And so what I'm really interested in is how can we all make change, significant change? And this doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm now going to run a marathon or anything like that, but making moves each and every day towards what it is that we want to do. Because I don't believe that it happens automatically. I don't believe it just happens one day. And even if it does, it may not stay around. And many of us are looking for that consistent, active change. So why is this going to be great? I've got a few little reasons here. And what is it? Let me tell you about it. So on the Thursday, the 25th of January, we're going to begin. Now, because February is a slightly shorter month, I am going to be holding this space for you for 5 weeks rather than a month. And you are going to get a combination of things within that time. You are going to have some one-on-one time with me, unlimited accountability, it's really difficult to say, and some check-in time as well. You're also going to get daily prompts and support and check-ins from me as well. And why is this going to be really great? Okay, so we're going to begin the month together with a one-on-one session. So each person, as part of this group of 20, there's going to be 20 of us doing this, by the way, will get a one-on-one session with me. And this is really important for me and for you. Not only for you, so you can say, right, this is the thing that I want to focus on, this is what's going on, and I've got a bit of context and background information. That will be really useful for me because I can bear that in mind. I can add it into my sort of notes section and know where we are. So we're not feeling like we have to, fill in the gaps the whole time. I will have that sense of what's going on with you. The second thing is it will help you to show up and make it real. I did a post the other day about my running, and I said that change was not convenient. And often it isn't. I think we have this assumption that we are like an Instagram version of ourselves where we're emerging out of the water like a mermaid and being like, oh my goodness, I feel like my best self and here we go. I know that when I need to make a change, it's usually the opposite. I'm doing the equivalent of Pat Butcher in the rain, in the square, and EastEnders like, the ugly cry moment. That is usually what's happening. And so the thing about showing up and saying that you're important, sometimes that comes at a moment when you don't feel empowered, when you maybe feel like you've pushed yourself to the side for too long. Everybody else's needs have been a priority and not your own. And so sometimes it can feel like a big thing to say, hang on a minute, I need to do something for myself here. And on that same post, I was saying that when I had my children, I didn't sleep for 7 years. Neither of them slept till they were 3.5. And it was so tough. Like, it almost broke me. But the thing is that I still needed to find things that were going to support my life to show that I was important too, because I needed not only to be their mum, but I needed to continue to keep myself sane as well. And so saying that you are doing this from the 25th of January to the 29th of February imperfectly, and you're making it real, it will do wonders for your self-esteem, that sense of importance within yourself, and it's going to be great. Number 3, accountability. I've been working in this space for nearly 11 years, and for myself years before that. And I know that it is so easy to get some momentum, get some accountability, like, oh, I know what I'm doing, I'm on a roll, things are happening. And then suddenly it all stops, or it goes below what it was before. And it can feel very up and down, an emotional roller coaster. And yet, if we come back to this sense of you will be needed to be available in your output every day, we have to think about what are we putting back in and holding accountability for that. And I really want to hold that space for you to say, you are important, and this is what you told me. And again, referring back to our session together, this is what you told me that you wanted. So let me help you to make it a reality. Now, because there's going to be 20 of us here, sometimes that accountability is literally one sentence of saying, oh, I did this today. I did this tiny little thing, but it's going to take me a little bit further to where I want to get to. And that is everything. I know myself, if I'm left to my own devices, there can be weeks without me doing things, or I can forget about them, or I get busy, or things like that. Knowing that you have this safe space to go back to each and every day is going to really amp up your progress with something. And from my client conversations that I'm having, many people actually want to see results. And this is the thing with the running 54 days in a row. I am now hitting those personal bests. I am now thinking, oh, these jeans feel a little bit looser today. That feels really good. And equally, part of me is like, good, I'm glad I'm seeing results because I am doing all of the things. So accountability is absolutely golden. Number 4, in this time, these 5 weeks, you're going to get to know yourself so well. You're going to turn up the brightness, like when the mums and dads used to put on the lights after a school disco and you'd be like, whoa, this is what everybody looks like. Wow, this is all a bit extreme. Showing up for yourself in this way might just do that, but you will learn so much. You'll be like, oh, I really like this. This is the thing that really works for me. Or equally, you might see those other parts of yourself of like, oh, no wonder I wasn't progressing so much in my business because the actual amount of time that I have to work on this thing is so limited. And my aim is by the end of our time together, you will have loads of data. You'll really get to know yourself. When people used to go on gap years and they come back and they could just be an expert packer, or they knew exactly what to do, or they just learned so much in that time because they'd been fully immersed in it. That is what's going to happen in our time together. One other thing on this accountability thing sometimes is that sometimes it's not just showing up for yourself, it's noticing how other people show up for themselves. And one thing that has happened so much is that on my Instagram, I've never had so many unfollows rather, which again is absolutely fine, because if you're not in that place of doing something or not able to, it's probably quite annoying if somebody's doing that. But I've never had so much engagement and so many secret messages. People are looking to do change. And sometimes just seeing somebody else doing it and having a go, it might just give you that moment of like, well, maybe I could have a go. Maybe I could do that too. I know I love that when I get that feeling online. It's such a brilliant thing. And number 5, we are going to be celebrating. So we are going to be closing out our 5 weeks together with a workshop together where we can come together, share our celebrations. I'm going to do some live coaching with you and really ground in what you have done, all of your achievements. And this has been something that I have loved, especially with the running, that sense of no matter what happens, I know I've shown up for myself for the last 54 days. All of the goodness that has come from that. So if this sounds right up your street, you can go ahead and book your place right now. If you've got questions, just use the messenger button, comes directly to me. It doesn't have to be a business goal or a fitness goal. It can be anything you like. This is purely for you to see how progress and change can truly impact your life and those around you. Lots of love, and I can't wait to get started. I will see you on the 25th. Lots of love. Bye.